Gemini, 3 places you should avoid this last week of July. There are moments when your intuition becomes louder than logic, when your body reacts before your mind can explain why. This is one of those moments. In this final week of July, the energy around you is shifting in very specific, powerful ways. You might already feel it, a strange unease in certain places, sudden discomfort in what used to feel familiar, a quiet pull away from certain environments. These aren't coincidences. They're messages. This week, you're walking through a sacred portal, a recalibration of your entire energy system. And because of that, your sensitivity is heightened, your aura more porous, your soul more responsive. You're being asked to protect your energetic field with deep awareness and care. In this video, I'm going to reveal 3 very specific places that you should avoid during the next 7 days. Not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Because what you absorb now, Gemini, will echo through the next 6 months of your life. And I want you to be protected, prepared, and fully empowered. I'm Elizabeth, and this is Esoteric Wisdom, a space for soul-deep astrology, healing insight, and intuitive guidance. If you feel something stir inside you as we walk this path together, I gently invite you to like, share, and subscribe. You are not alone on this journey. Let's begin. Gate 1. Financial fields of fear. What you must avoid. Gemini, money is energy. And you, more than most, feel that energy long before you realize it. This final week of July is not just any week. It's a vibrational hinge. A turning point in your energetic body where your internal systems are recalibrating, preparing to hold a higher frequency. But during this sensitive transition, your aura is wide open, more absorbent, more reactive. And that means you must be mindful of where you place yourself, especially when it comes to financial spaces. Let's begin with the first place you must avoid this week. Any environment where financial stress, decisions, or transactions are heightened. Banks with long queues, crowded real estate offices, used car dealerships, currency exchange counters. Anywhere where the air feels thick with money anxiety, bargaining energy, or financial desperation. This is not where your energy belongs right now.
Why?
Because Gemini, you're a psychic sponge this week, and financial fear is sticky. You may not even be the one in distress, but you will carry the residue as if it were yours. And that's when subtle sabotage begins. It might show up as sudden, irrational worry about your finances, impulsive spending to ease the anxiety, avoidance of financial planning altogether, feeling blocked around abundance, even when nothing's technically wrong. You've likely already noticed this in your life. Maybe you've walked out of a room or store lately and felt heavier than when you entered. Maybe you caught yourself spiraling about money for no reason at all. That's not a coincidence. It's energetic transfer. And this week, it's magnified. As a Gemini, your mind is your gift, but it's also your vulnerability. When you absorb the fear and scarcity of others, it doesn't just stay emotional, it becomes mental. You begin to overthink, doubt, analyze, and second-guess decisions that were already aligned. The problem is, your energy field this week is not just absorbing, it's amplifying. Imagine walking into a space with intense, unspoken tension. You don't just feel it, you internalize it, multiply it, and begin to live from it. And money energy, when it's distorted by fear, creates some of the most invasive frequencies of all. So what should you do? For the next 7 days, choose environments that feel financially neutral or calm. Need to go to the bank? Go during quiet hours, when there's no line, no rush. Delay major financial decisions unless they are urgent. Avoid crowded markets where bargaining energy is thick. Steer clear of conversations that center around financial panic or uncertainty. Remember, the purpose of this protection is not restriction. It's preservation. You're in a delicate energetic upgrade. Think of it like an operating system update in your body and spirit. Would you flood your laptop with pop-up ads and downloads mid-update? Of course not. The same goes for your energy. Keep it clear. Keep it stable. This week is setting the tone for your financial confidence for the next 6 months. That's why the universe is asking you to hold steady, hold light, and most importantly, hold your field. Because here's the thing, There's abundance trying to reach you. I can see the astrological alignments lining up, especially with Jupiter casting supportive angles toward Mercury. Opportunities are coming. Solutions are forming. But you must be energetically available to receive them. And that means creating distance from scarcity vibrations, no matter how normal they seem. You may even need to gently excuse yourself from conversations this week. When someone starts panicking about their bills or obsessing over the economy, you don't have to absorb that narrative. You can choose to stay sovereign. You can lovingly redirect the conversation or simply step away. Gemini, it's not about pretending problems don't exist. It's about choosing what stories you anchor into during this transition. Because your subconscious is impressionable right now, and if you feed it anxiety, it will start to build a life based on that frequency. And you're not here to live from fear. You're here to live from freedom. So protect that freedom like it's sacred, because it is. For now, spend time in places that uplift your nervous system. Parks, libraries, slow cafes, bookstores. Quiet spaces with low emotional volume. If you need to talk about money, do it with someone grounded. Someone who speaks from solutions, not spirals. Someone whose energy feels steady, not chaotic. And if you've already walked into some of these financial pressure zones this week, it's okay. You're not broken. You're not doomed. You just need to cleanse. Take a long shower. Put your hands in running water. Breathe into your solar plexus, the place where scarcity often lodges, and exhale it with intention. Affirm to yourself, I release what isn't mine. I return to clarity. I am safe to receive. Because you are. More than you realize. Gate 2, emotional crossfire, protecting your heart from unspoken conflict. Gemini, your heart is more sensitive than most realize. Behind your bright thoughts and curious spirit lies a deeply emotional radar, one that picks up frequencies long before others notice a shift. This final week of July, that radar is working overtime. And that's why the second environment you must avoid is any space charged with romantic or emotional conflict. I know that may sound vague at first. After all, conflict is part of life. But this week, it holds a different weight. Your system is undergoing an energetic recalibration, one that makes you hyper-receptive to discord. Not just witnessing it, but internalizing it. Let's get specific. Avoid environments where couples are arguing, even quietly. Emotional tension is thick but unspoken. Family members are walking on eggshells. You find yourself witnessing passive-aggressive behavior or unspoken resentment. Think, restaurants where you overhear tense whispers. Group gatherings where two people aren't speaking to each other. Elevators with silence that feels sharp. Even social media comment sections filled with relational drama. Yes, even there, Gemini. Why? Because you're a harmonizer by nature. And when you encounter romantic or emotional discord, your system immediately tries to fix it, even if it's not yours to carry. You begin absorbing the imbalance and unconsciously trying to rebalance it by destabilizing your own energy in the process. You might notice feeling drained after being in certain rooms, anxious thoughts about love or connection, even if your relationship is stable, a strange resistance to intimacy, dating, or emotional expression, sudden doubts about someone you were previously excited about. These are not signs that something is wrong with you. They're signs that you've absorbed someone else's heartbreak, fear, or unhealed dynamic, and your system is trying to metabolize it without even realizing it. Gemini, you must not sacrifice your inner harmony just to remain in the room. If you walk into a space and feel off, if your stomach tightens, if your breath shortens, if you feel the urge to leave, go. This is not about being rude. This is about being wise. Conflict energy, especially romantic tension, is like smoke. Even if the fire isn't yours, it can still make you choke. And the danger here isn't just short-term discomfort. It's the potential long-term energetic impact. Because if you absorb too much of this discordant frequency now, your own heart chakra, your ability to give and receive love freely, can become clouded. You may start seeing problems in your relationships that aren't real. You may feel emotionally unavailable without knowing why. You may unconsciously begin rejecting connection because you've been flooded with other people's unresolved patterns. This is especially crucial if you're in a relationship or opening to one, because love, in its highest form, requires clarity. And clarity is impossible when your system is filled with noise. You need space to feel your own emotions, not those absorbed from a bickering couple 2 tables away. So what can you do? For these next 7 days, Gemini, curate your emotional environments. Spend time with people who feel safe, regulated, warm. Avoid spaces where relational tension lingers in the air. Don't enter rooms out of obligation if your body resists it. And trust this, the ones who truly love you will respect your need for temporary distance if you explain it from your heart. If you must be in a charged space, shield yourself energetically. Before entering, place a hand over your heart. Say quietly or in your mind, "Only the energy that serves my highest good may enter my field. I return what is not mine with love. I stay sovereign in my emotions." You can even visualize a soft, iridescent field around you, one that lets love in, but filters out drama, fear, or resentment. And if you notice yourself spiraling emotionally after exposure, pause, ground, cleanse, take a salt bath, go for a walk, journal what's yours and what isn't. Listen to soft music that reminds you of who you are when you're not absorbing others. This isn't spiritual bypassing, it's energetic hygiene. And right now, it's essential, because here's what's at stake. Your next chapter is bringing love that is clear, connection that is clean, heart-centered decisions that come from you. But if your field is full of secondhand emotional debris, you won't see that love when it knocks. You'll miss the invitation. You'll question the clarity. Gemini, your gift is your duality, the way you dance between light and shadow. But this week, you're being asked to dance with intention, to guard your sacred center, to walk away, not to avoid truth, but to protect the container that will soon hold a much deeper love. And that is power. Gate 3, the echo of regret. Environments that shake your inner certainty. Gemini, your gift is your mind. Quick, expansive, curious. But like all gifts, it carries its shadow. Because when your inner compass is overloaded, your mind doesn't become clearer. It becomes louder, noisier, fragmented. And in this final week of July, there's one kind of energy that can overload your system more than anything else: regret. That's why the third place you absolutely must avoid right now is any environment saturated with indecision, grief over past choices, or deep emotional second-guessing. This includes hospitals where families are making difficult life-or-death decisions, divorce courts or legal offices where people are expressing regret, funeral homes or memorial services focused on what could have been, conversations where people rehash the past with pain, shame, or doubt. You might think, but these are just part of life. And yes, they are. But this week, they carry a frequency that is especially destabilizing for your Gemini nervous system. Why? Because your mind is like a hall of mirrors. When you walk into a room full of people doubting themselves, regretting their paths, questioning their pasts, you don't just hear their words. You internalize their confusion. You begin to hear those same questions inside your own head, even if they don't belong to you. You may suddenly start to doubt decisions that previously felt solid, revisit past situations with unnecessary guilt or confusion, hesitate to take action for fear of making a mistake, get caught in obsessive loops of what if and should I have. Gemini, this is not your truth. It's someone else's mental fog, drifting into your clear space. And the timing of this warning is crucial, because in early July, your chart opens into a window of rapid decision-making, clear, intuitive moves that have long-term impact. But to take advantage of that energy, you need your inner clarity intact. If your system is cluttered with borrowed doubt, you may hesitate at the exact moment life is asking you to leap. You may miss out on aligned opportunities because the echo of someone else's regret made you question your own readiness. And here's the subtle danger. This regret energy doesn't always come from strangers or dramatic situations. It can show up in subtle places. A friend venting endlessly about a bad career decision. A relative reminiscing bitterly about the past. A stranger talking loudly about missed chances on a phone call nearby. You may walk away feeling heavy, foggy, or inexplicably anxious. That's your sign. Gemini, your mind thrives on movement, but this week, it needs quiet. Not stillness, but sovereignty. A clear space where your thoughts are your own, not echoes from someone else's pain. So what should you do? This week, protect your mind like you would protect your home during a storm. Close the windows. Light the candles. Only let in what calms and centers you. Choose your conversations carefully. If someone starts spinning in regret, lovingly redirect or excuse yourself. You're not here to fix them. You're here to stay clear. Avoid environments charged with decision-making tension. Let the courts, the waiting rooms, the funeral homes be for another time, unless your presence is absolutely necessary. Say no to emotional dumping, even from people you love, especially this week. You're not a therapist. You're a soul in transition. And if you've already been exposed to some of this heavy energy, cleanse it, not just physically, but mentally. Write down every regret that entered your mind that doesn't actually belong to you. Burn the paper, or simply tear it up and throw it away. Take a bath with lavender or rosemary. Put your bare feet on the earth. Let your breath return you to yourself. Because, Gemini, your wisdom is already intact. You don't need anyone else's fear to guide you. You know what's right. You know what needs to happen next. You simply need the space to hear that knowing again. Your ability to see all sides is beautiful, but not when it becomes paralysis. This week is about remembering your authority, your ability to choose, move, act, not out of rebellion, but out of self-trust. And the only way to access that power is to quiet the voices that were never yours to begin with. So choose clarity over comfort. Walk away from mental fog. Seek places that anchor you in presence, not memory. Surround yourself with people who are grounded in today, not haunted by yesterday. Gemini, your future is too important to be decided by someone else's past. Protect your energy. Protect your mind. And above all, trust that your clarity is worth guarding like treasure. Gate 4, the upgrade. Gemini, this is not a breakdown. It's a recalibration. Let's pause for a moment. You've just walked through 3 sacred warnings, not to scare you, but to return you to yourself. And now, you may be wondering, why now? Why is your energy so sensitive? Why are certain environments suddenly unbearable, overwhelming, or strangely heavy? Why do you feel pulled inward, quieter, more cautious, despite your natural love of movement? The answer is simple, yet profound. You are not falling apart. You are upgrading. This final week of July marks the tail end of a massive energetic recalibration. Think of it like a spiritual software update, one that is rewriting your inner code, your intuitive systems, your emotional boundaries, and your mental clarity. And like any system update, things may feel slow, glitchy, or unsettling before they become smoother. But make no mistake, something within you is being restored to truth, repaired at a soul level, retuned to a higher frequency that will carry you through the next 6 months. You are shedding the habits of old reactions. You are clearing out energetic toxins that never belonged to you. You are beginning to live from discernment, not just curiosity. Because July will not wait. Starting next month, Gemini, your path accelerates. You'll begin receiving downloads, ideas, invitations, opportunities that require quick, aligned decisions. No more overthinking. No more doubting what your body already knows. You'll be asked to lead with intuition, grounded in clarity. And that can only happen if you finish this recalibration process now, with full awareness. That's why this week feels intense. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. And the universe is asking, can you honor your energy as sacred? Even if no one else understands? Can you choose solitude over stimulation because you know your nervous system needs it? Can you walk away from environments that feel off, even if it feels socially awkward or inconvenient? Because every time you choose energetic alignment over external approval, you strengthen the field around you. And that field, it becomes your magnet. It draws in people, opportunities, and timelines that match the healed version of you. Gemini, starting in July, your decision-making will be sharper. No more spirals. No more mental fog. You'll know and you'll move. Your relationships will shift. Old dynamics that required self-sacrifice will dissolve. You'll attract people who respect your mind and your heart. Your voice will return. Not just the witty banter or clever insight, but the voice of your truth. The one that's always been beneath the noise. But to access that version of you, this week must be treated like a sacred window. A space between the old you and the one you're becoming. And that requires boundaries. Not out of fear, but from love. Here's how to support your upgrade. Stay in spaces that feel clean, quiet, or neutral. Think libraries, gardens, empty cafes, your own room at golden hour. Avoid stimulants that confuse your emotional clarity. Heavy news, gossip, chaotic crowds, even too much screen time. Cleanse daily, not just physically. Cleanse your energy with water, sound, intention. Speak gently to yourself. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just tuning to a new frequency. Rest when needed. Upgrades take energy. Don't force productivity. This is not laziness. It's sacred integration. And if you've already felt overwhelmed this week, if you've accidentally stepped into the wrong spaces, absorbed the wrong frequencies, or started spiraling in regret, it's okay. You can still course correct. Take a long shower or bath. Walk barefoot on the earth. Breathe deep into your belly. Say aloud, I release what isn't mine. I call my energy back. I choose balance now. Because you can, at any moment. And the beautiful truth, Gemini, you're not alone. This shift you're feeling, it's collective. Other Geminis are going through the exact same recalibration. The difference is, you are aware, and that awareness gives you power. Soon, you'll look back on this strange, quiet, sensitive week and realize it was the beginning of everything. The moment your boundaries became sacred, the week your energy became sovereign, the season you finally came home to yourself. Conclusion, Gemini, you're becoming magnetic. Gemini, you've always been a traveler between worlds, between thought and feeling, logic and intuition, movement and stillness. But this time, something different is happening. You're not just observing change. You are embodying it. Not just thinking through transformation, but becoming the transformation itself. This past week has not been about restriction. It has been a sacred initiation into a new era of power, presence, and energetic sovereignty. The warnings weren't about fear. They were about alignment, protecting your frequency while your inner world rearranged itself into something more whole, more authentic, more magnetic. Because you're not meant to walk through life dimmed down by noise. You're here to lead with light. And now something beautiful is happening. You are remembering your own vibration. You are filtering out the distortion. You are beginning to attract, not because you chase, but because you resonate. That's the gift of this upgrade. It clears the interference. It tunes you like an instrument until your entire field plays in harmony with your purpose. And from July forward, that harmony will be unmistakable. You'll notice people responding to your presence differently, drawn to your calm clarity. Opportunities that once felt just out of reach, now falling into place with ease. Relationships deepening because you are finally showing up with full self-trust. A subtle but powerful shift. You stop chasing things and start choosing them. This is the essence of magnetism. Not loud, not forced, not performative, just undeniable. And it began the moment you said yes to protecting your energy this week. Gemini, you don't have to become someone else to receive what you desire. You just have to become fully you. And that's exactly what this portal has prepared you for.
So, as you move into July,
keep honoring your inner knowing, even when others don't understand it. Keep choosing peace over pressure, clarity over chaos. Keep walking away from what doesn't feel aligned, even when it's tempting to stay. And most importantly, keep trusting the quiet intelligence inside you. Because you're not just heading into a better month. You're stepping into a better timeline. One built from truth. One built by you. So take a breath, Gemini. Look at all you've outgrown. And get ready. Because the version of you that's arriving, she shines differently. She leads with light. She no longer explains. She simply radiates. Welcome to the next chapter of your life. Welcome to the embodiment of your truest frequency. You are magnetic now. Let the world come find you.